Pumpkin spice latte deliciousness is what we're making today. I've been getting a ton of questions on social media if there's somehow a way to make a keto pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, but the answer is you can't order a keto pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. It's impossible because they use a pumpkin spice syrup to make the latte. They actually don't use any real pumpkin or anything like that. It's just a pre-made mix. And there's no workaround to make that low carb or keto. So having said that, the best way to squash, yes, that's pun intended, your pumpkin spice latte cravings is to actually make one in the comfort of your own home, which I will show you how to make the best pumpkin spice latte recipe today. This thing, it's so good, so flavorful, just kind of like warms your body from the inside out. And every cup of it has just over 1 net carb, which I mean, that's crazy for a pumpkin spice latte. Anyways, with that said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it, and I'll show you my low carb keto pumpkin spice latte recipe. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get out our blender and add roughly 23 ounces or 720 milliliters of unsweetened vanilla almond milk to it. Then when we've got that in there, we're gonna add 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of heavy cream to it. Now, we're gonna add some of this stuff, some pure pumpkin. And this is not to be confused with pumpkin pie mix, which has a ton of unnecessary sugar, carbs, and calories. Anyways, we're gonna pop our can of pure pumpkin open, and then we're gonna add a heaping third of a cup, or about 95 grams of it, to our blender. And if you're wondering if I just licked the pumpkin off my finger, yes I did. So once we've got that in there, we're gonna sweeten up our keto pumpkin spice latte without adding any carbs or calories by using some confectioner swerve. And for today's recipe, we're gonna add just less than a half a cup of it, or about 60 to 70 grams, depending on how sweet you want your pumpkin spice latte to be. Now, after we've added our keto-friendly sweetener, we're also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, along with a half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. However, if you don't have pumpkin pie spice or you can't find it at your grocery store, you can always make your own. All you have to do is mix 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon with just less than a teaspoon of ground nutmeg and ground ginger, as well as a heaping 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and boom bada bing, you just made yourself some homemade pumpkin pie spice. Anyways, the last thing we're adding to our blender is a nice pinch of salt to really bring out the flavor in the latte. And then as you're seeing here, we're gonna grab the base of our blender as well as the top for it. And then we're gonna blend, or I guess I should say obliterate, our ingredients until they're combined. Okay, so once they've combined, we're gonna pop our blender off of the base and add all that pumpkin spice deliciousness we just made into a small pot. Then we're gonna heat that on medium and whisk it occasionally until it just starts to boil. Once that happens, we're gonna set our whisk aside and really take a second to appreciate all of the pumpkin spice aromatics coming from our pot. It's good to do this not just for the body, but for the soul. Then, when we've taken all that deliciousness in, we're gonna add 6 ounces or 177 milliliters of it to a measuring cup. Of course, a typical pumpkin spice latte has a nice bit of foam to it, so we're gonna use a frother to give our keto version an authentic feel as well. Then when we've got that looking good, we're gonna set that aside and pour a shot of espresso into a coffee cup. Of course, we wanna follow that up with the frothy milk that we just made, and then we can stir those together, add a little whipped cream and some more pumpkin spice to the top of our drink. And that, my friends, is how to make a low carb keto pumpkin spice latte. As always, for more info on today's recipe, check out the video description below, and I hope you enjoy it.